into in a very long time for teachers. I mean, they came home with, just hundreds of new strategies. And so I was very fired up when I talked to Todd on Friday and said, please, can we do this? And so that's what I would like to suggest.
Yeah, so that's a piece of the fine tuning instead of just keeping general language. Now, the component to move forward with that, we're very fortunate that training that Natalie went to, a lot of the other support that we're getting is not costing us anything right now because we joined up with the 6-year study. Mm-hmm. That piece would be something we would have to pay for in budget, but I think we have the means with some remaining of our money at least to get it up running next year. And really we're looking at kind of a train-the-trainer model, getting some champions in each building to be the trainers, and then so we can keep that sustainability going if we don't continue with it in consecutive years.
That sounds good. I like it with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just alternating them.
Thank you. Push on spot. All right, and so then there are 2 sections one that we don't have a lot of information on. I'll be honest with you. It's the career technical education, pathways. I'm still working with some superintendents to get some more information on exactly what does it look like at their place and in their districts. We don't have to mirror them exactly, right? Because we don't have the resources they have at times. Right? We don't have the same resources as Bloomfield in that aspect, right? With industry, but we have enough out here to get us started, and that's what we want, right? We want to get this up and running to offer our students, especially those students who are disengaged. They put a number to them sometimes, the lower, not I shouldn't say lower, but the 20%, right, that either don't come to school or maybe drop out eventually. We have enough here that we can get something started to get part of that 20% engaged and then build upon it. So I still need to work on that. Okay, thank you, Natalie. That's good. Yeah.
That's encouraging.
Thank you. All right. Director of Learning Services, Mrs. Romero, board report.
So I have a question about training. What's the rate for NHS there?
Madam President, members of the board, Mr. Young, we had no teachers from the high school attend for those 3 days. We had 2 teachers one from each middle school. And then the rest of the teachers were from all 3 elementaries. And then an instructional coach, or 2 coaches, and Mr. Rico joined. Yes, they were invited. Yes, they were invited, but because it was off contract.
Madam President, Vice President Young, I also do want to say though that we kind of had a short turnaround on this. When it was sent to us, in a group of trainings. So here's June's, here's July's, here's August. I think we got it on the 3rd or 7th. Oh, that's right. It wasn't. I'm thinking of something different. Strike that. Okay. That's a whole different one. Yeah, that's a different one. Yeah. All right. But they were invited. Yeah. They were invited. Obviously, the one that we're supposed to go to this week that they canceled Friday. Yeah. Any other questions for Mrs. Romero?
If I can, Madam President, members of the board, I do have one thing that was not on my board report, but and I'm sure Mr. Viviano, I think you've already mentioned this, but we did have 2 nurses. Whoa! We had 2 nurses in the district who were awarded with New Mexico awards. And so they both received them in Las Cruces last week at the New Mexico Nurses Association annual meeting.
Lacey Facchini from Route 66 and Donslin Worthington from Moriarty Elementary. And so one was the Horizon Award Donslin received, and just being new and doing all the things that she has done. And then the second one was an outstanding nurse for the district, and that was Miss Lacey. And so they both received those awards last year. Unfortunately, we couldn't go to get to see them receive them, but I just want to give them a shout out and thank them publicly for all their work.
We'll bring them in front of the board.
Just out of curiosity, how were they selected? Were they voted on by their peers or?
I nominated them, and then they were voted on by the Nurses Association. So once they were nominated, we were out of it. Cool. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right, moving on to business. Madam President, I recommend approval of the consent agenda finance items 1 through 4.
4,000.
1 through 4.
Superintendent Viviano recommended approval of the consent agenda for the finance items 1 through 4.
Question?
It'll come after the motion. Right? Question? Okay. And, Albert, okay, did you second? I'll second. Any questions?
So it's been a couple days since I looked at this, but I think all these 19 through 25 were cameras, correct? 19 through 25.
No, 19 through 25 is food.
Oh,
The back is food.
okay. Well, the cameras.
The cameras are quotes further down.
Further down. I'm all messed up now.
That's all right.
That's okay.
Our time change.
It's summertime.
You just did the deal.
Just trying to keep it longer.
Any other questions?
Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All those approved? Say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Any questions from Mrs. Young? Reports.
No questions, but just appreciation for the good work that you do.
Yes, we do thank you for what you do.
All right, no further questions. We'll move on to personnel. Director of Personnel, Dr. Buckley, board report. Any questions, or Dr. Buckley, do you have anything to add?
We're down to 14 from the number of ICU reports. Positions are changed.
A lot of new hires.
We're getting that back. Slowly but surely. A lot of it is just everyone's doing the same thing, every district's doing the same, so we're battling for the same employees.
They'll come together.
Yesterday when we were talking, Dr. Buckley, of some of these positions though, there are some letters of intent out there, right? Some people have been offered the jobs. They just have 5 days to get back to us. Just recently, yeah.
Letting families help them decide.
Don't believe it. Good move.
With the principal's position, we, as of today, have 5 applicants. We're going to do those. We had 2 up until today, or until yesterday. Then we have 5 now. We will go through them. We will do some pre-reference checks, but we are scheduling with staff members from South Mountain. We'll reach out to some parents to set up those interviews. We say next Wednesday, right? Next Wednesday. And we'll move on that.
Good.
Yeah. Any other questions? questions, anything for Dr. Buckley? Moving on. All right, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Buckley. All right, support services, special projects, and other items. Madam President, if you don't mind, I will just see if anybody has any questions for A, B, C, or D.
Okay, that's fine. Transportation, in regards to transportation, I think we're now lacking 4 bus drivers again for the fall.
Yeah, we had
And one
two,
assistant.
we had 2 people drop out of the training, and so, as you noticed, the bus.
Yeah, I saw the bus out there, yeah. Okay.
I'm just trying to get a larger pool. Get the ongoing.
Get them on board. Maintenance is working very hard.
Maintenance is working hard. They're down three people right now.
Oh, are they really? Oh.
They're yeah, so that's part of the positions, yeah.
We got summer kids working.
We don't have them this year. Oh, do we have?
We have
We have one, right? He's at the warehouse right now. We didn't have,
No, it's here, it's central.
oh, I'm sorry, yeah, for the office position is one. Is one. Yeah, no.
Signed up to do maintenance.
No, not this year.
Nobody wanna get.
No, we cut in or anything like that. We're gonna have them look at doing some painting for us, you know, and stuff, but, yeah, not this year.
That's super flexible, isn't it, for those guys? Kind of show up when you needed to.
Yeah, Madam President, Vice President Young, it's, we had a minimum amount of hours per week, a maximum amount of hours, and
Very
flexible, so they could go to practices, go on family trips, go on, and, you know, just, they could work as much as they wanted, or at least that minimum, and still have a summer break for themselves. It's still out there, we're still taking it, you know. Still got a few more weeks of summer break left. It's moving fast, it seems like it's fast, they're already close up the state right around the corner.
It'll be.
Yeah.
I felt a little breezy when the project was up cold.
Yeah, yeah.
September, October, something like that. We said, man, we got the press.
All right, any other questions? Good questions. Thank you. All right, then we will move to support services and special projects, item E. Madam President, members of the board, I recommend approval of item E, Monterey High School Performing Arts Center cameras, or security cameras.
And this encompasses the system that encompasses the baseball, softball, or that's not. I was trying to look at the map, and it was, it's like kind of high.
Madam President, members of the board, these are the initial quotes that we got. Since these were probably actually done a few months ago, and then we didn't have money, kind of scared me for a minute. But then after you guys were speaking last month about the importance of getting the cameras going and wanting to get to the top of the line, I went ahead and asked Mr. Ritchie to send us these quotes for you guys to look at. Since these were done, we have had multiple incidences of vandalism at the baseball and softball field. Nothing major yet. So, Mr. Ritchie has talked back to the company. Apparently, we do have there's a word for it, basically a flagpole on top of the practice gym maybe. That they think they might be able to put a very high resolution far-reaching camera. The price was a little bit high that he just kind of blurted out, but we haven't got the official quote yet. So these do not cover that area yet.
And I believe that if we go with the cheapest one to go get, and we have now,
Yeah.
I think we need to spend the money and get them cameras.
Yes, and that's what these are supposed to be. They're supposed to be, the higher resolution, all that good stuff. I will let you know that we didn't get the EMS one in time for this meeting, but Mr. Ritchie walked with Mr. Gaston Beatty and the company yesterday. He finally got them out here to walk with him, so we should be getting that quote by the July meeting.
Is that expected to be about the same as Moriarty Middle?
It's hard to say because I don't know the number of cameras that Mr. G is asking for versus what Mr. Romero asked for. So And, Mr. G's building is a lot bigger than Moriarty Middle School, so I would expect it to be higher than that one.
But I still believe that we need to spend money on cameras, security more.
Right. You guys
So
expressed
in
that
the long run,
last
in the long run,
I asked Mr. Viviano if he wanted us to get this on here for you guys to look at. Now that we're now that we'll have the money on Friday from the bonds.
My other question, which you kind of answered, but based on the last meeting too, were the principals involved in helping establish where they feel cameras need to be as opposed to where they have them now and they're not needed?
So my understanding is at the high school, the security officers walked with Lincoln and the company, so because they know where the blind spots are. Mr. Adams can correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not aware that happened since the last meeting.
Lincoln said that, no, not since the last meeting. This was a few months ago when they came and walked.
Yeah.
He said Ben walked with him, so is what Lincoln told me. Because I asked if you had walked with him, and he told me Ben walked with him.
Okay. Yeah, not since the last meeting though.
No, it was, yeah, I don't remember how long ago it was. Well, there's probably a date on this quote. And then at Moriarty Middle School, I don't know, Mr. Romero, did you walk with Lincoln? I know he had a map. Maybe you provided him a map?
He gave me a map and asked where I thought we could use more coverage.
Okay.
But then the consultant walks around with a camera on a helmet. And so he walks the building and then kind of gains a sense of like, if you have any kind of blind spots or hidden corners.
We need to get somebody that, like I said, somebody that's going to walk around. I watched the guys get them point the lights at the baseball field at night. I gave them about 3 or 4 times. And those guys were with, what do you call them? The lasers up there. And that's what we need to do. We need to get somebody to try to get them to use it. Just look at it, right? Make sure that we get them in the right place. If they're getting some water, they're not working.
Those kids we hired in the summer.
So the next step is entry middle and then elementary schools are coming later.
Yes, we'll get it.
For all schools.
Yeah.
We did the bonds and get over it, correct?
Yeah, we're trying to make sure that, once everything started moving with the approval of the bonds and the sales, yeah, so I've been talking about these quotes right away, because these quotes were already in action.
Thank you.
All right, so let's hurry up.
Okay.
And I approve recommendation of item E, and Moriarty High School Performing Arts Center camera quotes.
I have a recommendation. Can I have a motion
I still make a motion
to accept
Yes.
action?
Yes.
Take action on item E.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
We need a second.
Oh, you seconded, I'm sorry. We're in a second. I got ahead of myself. This is kind of, it's not just me. Yeah. Anyway, so it's been,
So, motion by Mr. Chavez, second by
by Jenny.
Mr. Young, and then now you can vote.
And now,
All those in favor?
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, aye. All those opposed? Okay.
All right, we get another chance.
Let's do it again for you.
All right, item F.
Okay.
Madam President, I recommend approval of the Moriarty High School main campus camera quote.
We have a recommendation from Superintendent Viviano for MHS main camera quote. Do I have a motion? I will make a motion to accept this, and do we have a second? I know, I put it.
I didn't have it as a consent, so.
So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
All right, item G, Madam President, recommend approval of action item, Moriarty High School Kate Center, Career Technical Education Center, cameras.
We have a recommendation for the MHS Cape cameras from Superintendent Viviano. Do we have a motion to accept?
I'll motion this maybe.
That's your baby, okay. And a second? I'll second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
And then item H, Madam President, I recommend approval of the Moriarty Middle School security camera code.
Superintendent Viviano recommends, a motion, action be taken to accept MMS camera quote. I ask for a motion. A second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, moving to policy, board policy. Madam President, members of the board, you have been in discussion in different venues, it sounds like, about these policies, whether it was the law conference or just in-house. And so this is a first read for all of the board members. President Hudson and I looked this over, and instead of breaking these up, since they all go into effect in July, we just hit you with them all at once. Again, this is a first read, which allows you to ask any questions or make any comments. There will be a second read in July, and the in-between, if you have any questions or comments, if you need to look at them a little more closely, let me know. But typically with the second read in July, we would be asking for adoption and approval of these. If you look at all of the, and I think you received them in emails as well, right? Through Jovian and the School Board Association. And you get a summary from Jovian, and then through each one, you'll see that there are sections that are there's a strike through. That's what was eliminated, and anything that's underlined was added to amend these policies, or to put in as just amend it. Yeah. So any questions, Madam President?
No, but I would really like to make a policy to the week cell phones out of our classrooms. You know, I brought that up at the mock conference, and one of them, he told me, Albert, you're looking for me for about an hour now. He says, that's a good idea. He said, why don't you just ask about the thing, say that they cannot have in the classroom. So we have to look at that and think about it.
Absolutely. I can look at that. I know Albuquerque Public Schools had put in a policy, and they were trying to conceal high school this year and trying to work through it and stuff like that. And definitely bring it to the table for debate and do some research for you guys. Yeah, for the board.
There's an elementary school, or no, middle school in Albuquerque that was speaking on that as well, and how successful it was. I can't remember which one it was, but maybe we can reach out.
Yeah.
You know, that, I think he's just clone, and he told me that family was doing that, to make a policy completely, that's right.
And there's also some school districts, Madam President, members of the board, that are they're spending some money for gosh, lack of a better term, gadgets. You know, that a student would be able to, like, let's say, put it in a pocket, a holder, and they lock, and they can only unlock them at certain times, and they have to have them in there. But there's various ways to, you know, instead of prohibiting them being on campus, limiting the use of them. But we'll look at all those scenarios.
Cheapest, which is the
And some of it is good. Some of it is, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chavez.
So as far as these policies go, these are changes in law, correct? Basically, have to adopt.
Yes. Yeah, because they're law that has to be followed. Yeah.
They could be quick, but they gotta be.
Yeah, you can change words here and there.
Yes.
That's the basis of all.
Minimal. Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of change that we're allowed to do regardless.
So I have another question. On 239 and 244, they're similar about, one was, I think, streaming and then one was public comment. It says that members of the public can submit written or verbal comments when we're live streaming. In this policy, should we be determining if we want written or verbal or both? Can we change that kind of wording? Or do we have to provide written or blank? Do we have to provide both options when they're online? And then, do we have to allow them to have an open chat the whole time we're talking? Or can we turn that off? I don't know if that's separate from this policy or if that would go into it.
Like, or just a procedure that we have.
Yeah.
Right. And sort of like we talked about looking at the agendas now.
So that would be separate.
I'll have to look at legal, you know what I mean, and see what we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. 239, Ms. Donner, and 240.
And, 244.
244. 239 and 244. There you go.
I mean, we want the public to speak and just.
Yeah, and I think there is some modeled water with that, with many districts. I don't know what that looks like and how that's happening. Okay. Thank you.
So with this, because obviously this is the draft that they gave us to use, and ours currently says the president shall set a time limit. This says 30 minutes for up to 30 minutes of comment, and this doesn't determine, but it does offer to a length of per speaker. And ours, you know, so.
Yeah, ours,
And our policy.
Our policy, that's correct.
that we give out.
We give out.
Public comment.
And in the new policy, it says 30 minutes, maximum of 5 minutes per speaker. So that means 6 speakers, or if we have 10 speakers, we go over each get 3 minutes. Is that how that would work? I mean, or do we need to spell it out in there?
I'll ask him as well.
And then, I really like the, some verbiage in there about passing the minutes. When you have somebody say it. Don't have somebody else say it for you.
Oh.
Just to make it a 2 minutes.
So passing the time to someone else.
Giving your time to somebody else, yeah.
If you got somebody to say it, you don't.
And then, passing it.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Nobody speaks for me.
Okay. Okay, so to reiterate, I will double check on policy 239, 244. I think this, Mr. Young's go falls within that, written or verbal, or do we have to do both, one or the other?
It's under 50 under 244.
Yeah. And then, the number of minutes per comment, passing of minutes. Ms. Donner, you said open chat.
Yeah, like on Facebook, if, I don't know what our options were for streaming it, but if we were to do Facebook Live or something like that, people can chat the whole time we're talking. Are we going
I
to
think you said
allow
the
that?
comments on the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to avoid that, but like they can't come to the meeting and just talk.
I like that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah. And if not, we'll talk more. Okay. Same things, yeah. Exactly. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think I do. Any other discussion, any other recommendations? No? All right, we will move to advanced planning. Any requests for discussion, items considered for July? If nothing comes to mind now, please get hold of President Hudson about the July agenda. There are two items here. There is a School Board Association Leadership Retreat on July 11th, 12th, and 13th, it looks like. That's the one in Taos, right? So if you're interested in going that, chat now. SAP, I don't know if any board members have ever gone to the leadership, you know, and or if it's just, it's open to president and board members in the description, yeah.
We'll be on that next.
Yeah.
That came across an email. I can find the email and resend it to you guys. If you need it.
Yeah, that's good. For the A, do we need to put on Lindsay's request for the information on
Yeah.
future assessment.
Let me get some more information and we can talk to them.
Okay,
And then,
We'll go from there.
President Hudson will talk to everyone else.
okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you. And then, our next board meeting, and I thank you very much for accommodating, but we'll move it to Monday the 15th at 3 o'clock instead of Tuesday.
And we'll be up and running.
Right, and we'll be on video, but, you know, we're on that process.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll be up and running for that.
I'm hoping that we will be. We will be, if it's not, all the cameras and everything we have, we will figure out a way to get it done. That first meeting, yeah, we have to by law. Right? Yeah. All right, any other requests? All right, moving to, section 10, Madam President, I recommend, action to go to closed executive session. So there can be conversation, with board attorney to discuss pending litigation between MESD and Town of Edgewood, per the code that is listed.
For superintendent's, Viviana's recommendation, I make a motion that we move to a closed executive session with our board attorney to discuss any litigation between MESD and the Town of Edgewood, New Mexico, SA 1978, Section 10-15-1, H7, and Rule 11-503 NMRA. Can I have a motion? Is there a second?
Second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Let's roll call it.
Oh, I have to roll call, that's right. Roll call. Linda Hudson, yes?
Stating yes.
Albert Chavez, yes.
We'll be on our-
Hold on.
Mhm.